Good morning, everyone. I'm using that cinematic option in the camera and my iPhone at the moment just to see what difference there is. I filmed my grandson yesterday doing it. It's quite, I don't know. Anyway, it's a bit of a wind going actually in Thailand. When there's a wind, normally when there's a wind, it usually means it's going to rain, but it's quite clear skies and all that, but it will certainly help with clearing the pollution. Even us down at the coast in Rayong, the pollution's been pretty, and I think Bangkok's something like the second worst in the world at the moment. It's terrible the way, and it's a combination of obviously Bangkok being as busy as it is, and the farmers burning their fields and up in the mountains. They're not supposed to do it, but they do. But there's even somebody around the corner here doing it. Now, moving to Thailand, how did I do it? It was 20 years ago. I came out for my friend's 40th birthday, which was on the 20th of January. Just a few years, and then we 60 in a couple of days. And I was working in Holland at the time as a mechanic. My career quickly is as a marine. I started as a marine engineer mechanic in the Royal Navy. Did 7 years there. I joined up at 17. Which isn't very long. I did six years. And then I stayed in that line of work, mechanic work, since then. I left there, went and worked in a dockyard in Ayrshire, then went abroad. I worked in Holland for 4 years in Rotterdam, just outside Rotterdam, for a company, diesel engines and the generators and all that stuff, and they took us around the world as well. And then came out for my mate's 40th, and it was Pattaya had it, and I was like, wow, I was there for 2 weeks, and it was just mind blowing. So I went back home. I went back to Thailand. Holland, and I come back out in the July on my own to Pattaya, and I get talking to one of my mates. I don't like saying mates' names just in case I don't want them dragged any crap in case somebody doesn't like me and wants to do any doc stuff or all that. But anyway, I came back out. When did I come back out? I came back out in the July. And get talking to one of the guys that I'd met before, and two lads from Dundee. They'll know who they are if they see this. And one of them goes, "What is it you do at that?" And I said, "Look, I'm a diesel mechanic. I'm a mechanic of X amount of years at school." I was 29 when this happened. He said, "Look, I need a guy in Oman to work in my wirelines and oil and gas thing. They send it's basically they send a wire down into the well, and it gives them all sorts of readings and all that. That's just it not in a layman. And it was in the desert in Oman. So I was there for a few years then, and I ended up as a drilling game offshore. On land. I went into land rigs as a chief mechanic on land rigs, and I've stayed in that game ever since, mainly offshore now. Well, I've not been in land rigs for years, but it's so offshore. But the thing is, as soon as I got that job in Oman, I thought, listen, I can do this, because a rotation, Oman's 5 and 5. So it was 5 weeks on, 5 off. And I've always felt, unless you're retired with a good pension, over 50, but those of us under 50 that couldn't get a retirement visa and didn't have a Thai kid or married to a Thai, that was the fly in, fly out sort of thing was the best. I thought we'd get the best deal because we're not exactly in minimum wage. And so I could come here for my 5 weeks off and not have a care in the world. Didn't need to worry about money and all that. It's just like you see people saying, I'm going to go and live in Thailand. You're like, well, how? It's none of my business at the end. It's none of our business at the end of the day how people make money. But you need to be careful. And I always say to people, if you're coming to live here, that's fine. Good, enjoy. The visa thing, most people can come, even under 50, can come here and get a visa. That can get a visa so they can stay long term. I'll leave it at that, But what was I going to say? Those of us under 50, I always felt the oil and gas guys had the best deal. And at the time, we moved to Pattaya. I moved to Pattaya, and there was a few other guys moved at the same time that I'm still mates with. Now they own bars and clubs down Walking Street in Pattaya. We were the youngest here by a long shot. I was 29 when I moved here, and I'm 50 now. And we didn't have, there wasn't even the young, I don't like calling them the Ibiza lot, because it's not really a Ibiza lot. The Ocean Beach Club lot and Magaluf and Benidorm lot that are coming and running about with their tops on, which I hate because it insults the Thais. But that was where I was going to go. what you need, and this doesn't go for Thailand, this goes for any expat in any country in the world, I would say, well, definitely, you need access to money, whether it's your own or a family member will help you to get home to your home country quickly, just when you get that horrible phone call, look, so-and-so's had this happen. I don't want to jinx anything by saying it, but you know what I mean, you need to get out of Dodge, but you know, you need to be able to get home quickly, and I probably say this every video, make sure you've got solid medical insurance, because every so often you see a GoFundMe come up because Joe Smoke didn't have medical insurance, you know, and he's now in the Bangkok Pattaya hospital with a huge bill, and they won't let him out and all this stuff, you know, and a lot of the times it's from motorbike accidents, and I still say to you, no matter how good a motorbike driver you are, don't hire them here, it's because of the ties, you know. And listen, I totally get it why people like driving the mopeds. It's good fun. Once I do this, I'll go around and see the monkeys. We've got a load of monkeys around. Well, not a load. There's not that many left now because they get rid of a lot of them into the mountains. But yeah, again, I've seen again last night. These so-called experts with their tops off, and I noticed one guy's in Phuket and he's previewing a kebab. Anyway, but it turns out he works offshore, and the thing is, I work offshore, and I sit in the tea shacks, especially in the North Sea, or not even just in the North Sea, a lot of places, because wherever you go and drilling, there's Scottish people on there, like, or you know, Westerners, doesn't matter, because I'm currently working in my jobs in the Middle East. I'll go back next month on the 9th or 10th. But this gentleman, young guy, fit as a fiddle, obviously likes the gym, which is, I think it's a great thing. I wish I did. Top off on Bangor Road, reviewing a kebab. And the thing is, I sit in the tea shacks in the North Sea all the time, and I listen to guys like him mouthing off about this and that in Thailand, talking absolute BS. And I don't say anything, I just let them rabbit on, you know, and then I'll say, they'll turn to me a lot of the times. I love when this happens. It's maybe me being a bit of a dick, to be honest, but they go, have you ever been to Thailand? I go, yeah, and they go, yeah. Excuse me. They'll say, where have you been and all that? I'll say where I've been and all that. And then I go, how often have you been? They say, I've lived there 20 years, and you just see their face drop. It's quite funny, but yeah. And the tops off thing, ladies as well, if you've got a bikini top on, put a t-shirt on and that over that until you get to the beach or the pool. It's the same as a lad having a top off. You know, obviously, it goes without saying, in your own house you can do what you want, but yeah, I know, there's a lot of, I say, and I include myself in this, don't listen to 90% of the people on TikTok and YouTube and that about time. They're talking knickers, man. Just come here and enjoy yourself, man. You know, yeah, there was a guy the other day saying it was PP. If you're an expat in Thailand and you know about PP, you don't go there. That is not a place I would ever go, because of stuff that's happened in the past. There was a murder there 8 years ago, and what happened, the fallout from that was horrific. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. You can use Google for that one. What was I going to say? Oh God, I'm terrible at this. I forgot my train of thought. But just come and enjoy yourself. Oh, that's it. Yeah, there was a chap the other day. I think he'd come here. He was begging for money to get home. He was a recovering alcoholic, and he was on the wagon, which is always fantastic to hear. And he was begging for money and all that. But anyway, he said, "Oh God, I've done it again." What was my point? He was saying, oh damn it, I forgot, and I'm not going to start this video again because I've gone in too far. What was it he was saying? Oh yeah, he was saying that he was on PP or whatever it was, and he says there's no hotel or room available for under £50 a night at the moment. I need £50 or £100 for 2 nights. I went on to Expedia right away, and there was rooms for £15 and stuff like that. I use Expedia for travelling, but I know there's probably other ones that are a bit better. I'm just at Platinum with them, so I get discounts and upgrades quite simple as all that. Oh yeah, that was the other thing. There was that kid, that offshore lad was saying, it was fucking brilliant. And I travel constantly. There'll not be many people you'll watch online travel as much as me out with pilots. I'm never ever off planes. If you look at where I've got a video I posted last night on TikTok, and that's just when I was tagging myself in the house here, and it comes up where you've been in the last year, and it was like, wow, man. And there's more than the picture you see. I've probably been double that. But anyway, he was saying he went to the airport and the plane was delayed 3 hours. And see something like me, if the plane's delayed 3 hours, I'm like, all right, fair enough. You know what I mean? You might get a voucher for a couple of, £15-20 to go and get something to eat. I just go on with it. I just keep an eye on the board, listen for shouts. And here's another thing: I never ever have my headphones on in airports until I'm at the gate and I know that plane's going to be leaving. And you've checked in, obviously. Then you go through immigration, you go through, and then you go in again down, because I've heard that if a lot of airports don't use the intercom anymore, but if your plane's been shouted and it's not on the board and you've got your headphones on, you could miss the flight. Anyway, this kid, I said, the flight was delayed 3 hours, and then I would have to wait my next connection through Qatar to get to, I think it was Manchester. It's going to be 11 hours. Qatar, I was kind of right, okay, fair enough, but they'll hotel you for that. They'll put you in a hotel. Qatar Airways will put you in a hotel in Qatar for that, 100%. And then he's saying what they've done instead is they've upgraded to the business class. Now, he may well have been, right? He may well have been, but as someone that flies constantly, and listen, I'm on Emirates. I'm in the high levels, silvers, golds on quite a few airlines, and it's guys like us that get upgraded. And it's not that often I get upgraded. But if you're going to get upgraded, because you'll go through to the final ticket round, then it'll shout you again, Mr. Francis, come to the desk. It's like, yes, upgrade. Because people, it's always funny when you see the people going to Spain once a year and they check themselves into lounges and all that. You're like, well, you pay to get in there. It's as if they go around for free. Those of us that fly regular know how difficult it is to get an upgrade, a free upgrade. Because the difference, especially with the big airlines, the difference between cattle class that we're normally into business class is a big deal. And it's I'm led to believe it's up to the captain as well. It's him that says gives the final yes or no if somebody gets upgraded. And you're not going to get upgraded if you're dressed in the lounge like a. Well, I wouldn't travel in I probably have travelled in a football top. I haven't. I don't. Or do I? Anyway, but if you're dressed like a tramp, you're not getting upstairs or you're not turning left. But yeah, that's the thing about social media. People can waffle on. Like, this kid might well get the upgrade, but you're like, nah. But that's it. It's aye. And the thing is that but I looked at this chap and he may well be a nice fella. I don't know if I'm sure he is. He's Thailand, because Thailand changes people big time. We've seen. I don't want to be too specific about where this chap was from. Let's just say the UK. Extremely successful businessman. Allegedly, I'm led to believe he was a millionaire. He had a couple of garages around a certain area in the UK, did MOTs and everything like that. He drove a 911 Porsche 911. Came over here this time of year night, high season, to Pattaya, and had a great time. Sold everything up. And within a year it was all gone, you know what I mean, whether it's a girl ripping them off or all that. But what I'm saying is, the most sensible, smartest people in the world, I'm not intelligent, but extremely intelligent people can get sucked in by this place. There's times you need to sit down and take 5 and think, right, what am I really doing? It's time to go home, because I've spent 6 months in the UK before I come back here, and that was just down to I kept getting jobs out of the UK and the North Sea, basically, in Europe. So my home airport was always Glasgow or heading back to Troon, where I'm from. But like I say, and this job I'm on, I'm supposed to have 2 more trips on the rig I'm going to. I'm supposed to. My travel day is probably Monday the 9th or something like that to get to the play Istanbul, then offshore the next day. But if that job gets cancelled, I'm flying back to the UK on the 9th. So as that brings the North Sea into play for jobs, because the North Sea won't fly you. None of the companies will pay for pay for a flight from Thailand to the UK to go offshore, and obviously they've got enough bodies in Europe to do my job as a chief mechanic. So, but I'll just go there and make myself available. I may well land in Glasgow, go down the road the next day, get a phone call to go offshore Australia. That's just the way it is. But anywhere else in the world apart from obviously I get flown, by the way, that they pay to fly it. And there have been times in the past where they've flown me business class, but the only reason they did that was it was a rush job in the plane. The route I was on, they couldn't get me anything but business class. And last year we were in Senegal, me and this chap, we were and it was Mauritania you were in, next door to Senegal, but you flew out of Dakar, and then we come off and we were flying through from Senegal to Charles de Gaulle, which I hate that airport, Charles de Gaulle to Glasgow. But it was at the same time a lot of Senegalese kids were going back to uni in Paris, or France in general. So all the flights were mobbed, and they could only get, as me and this other chap, business class, and this was a brand new, I've got no idea which type of plane it was, a big white one with Air France on it as far as I was aware. And we get business class, and we both googled it to see how much it was, and me and the other chap, we both went through a lot of sites to see what's the cheapest. I think it was at $6,000 was about the cheapest for each of us. So but I think oil companies well, we get Siemens tickets. Was that a Siemens ticket? No, it wouldn't have been actually. But all the oil companies usually have mates rates with the big airlines, because I'll guarantee you, if you're in any, just about every single flight you'll be on international, there'll be somebody flying offshore, heading offshore somewhere. I can guarantee you, because when I'm in airports, we'll see what's called the offshore bag. Anyone offshore will know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, you see that, because I did travel an offshore bag out here. I've got about 3 in there. We've all got loads of them. It's just a bag, you know. They're heavy duty bags that can hold about 8-9 kilos. But yeah, I'll do a video. I'll do a video about getting off. The thing is, they are actually crying out for people offshore at entry level stuff. You don't need any trades. Just Google North Sea offshore agencies for Aberdeen, and they're all there, all the big agencies, and it'll have a phone number, and as a direct phone number. You're not talking to a machine or a call centre. You're phoning the company directly, and they will help you, advise you. You will need to do your own buoyancy and your offshore survival stuff, and I think that's around £2,000-ish. Don't quote me on that. You can Google offshore survival tickets, and Google will tell you how much it is and what you need. But and anyway, yeah. And Rangers last night, after the second half, it's the first time I've actually enjoyed Rangers playing football for a while. They played good flowing football. You know, Big Dessa's goal was fantastic. You know, and they played well. Anyway, we move house in the second, so I can't wait to move house. But that's a whole new video. Anyway, cheers.